Hello and welcome to my brand new series on human design. What is it? Where did it come from? And why is it such an important tool on the journey of self-actualization? Okay, so first things first, where did this system even come from, right? If you're here watching this video, you're obviously curious. You've heard the word human design. You've heard the buzz that's been brewing online about how it's such a beautiful tool to help understand yourself, or rather, understand yourself. But where did it come from? Okay, so this system was received in the 80s by this man named Alan Robert Krakauer. But even if you're familiar with human design, you've probably not even heard that name because he actually goes by the pseudonym Ra Uru Hu, which was given to him by an entity that he calls the Voice in this epic 8-day like metaphysical transcendental experience that he had while living in Ibiza in the 80s. I believe it was 1987 was the year that this happened to him. And through this 8-day metaphysical experience, he channeled or downloaded the entirety of this system that incorporates some pretty heavy hitters when it comes to metaphysics, divination, mystery school philosophies. Okay, so it incorporates the ancient Chinese I Ching with the 64 hexagrams. It is based on astrology and the never-ending patterns of energies playing out, as well as the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, and quantum physics. Okay, so through these various systems of understanding and this metaphysical 8-day experience that he had, Ra channeled the system, and then it took him a number of years after that to actually write the first book, which came out in 1992. The Science of Differentiation, Human Design was debuted in the early 90s, and since then, people have been using it to understand themselves in a deeper way. And personally, since I discovered this system 4 years ago, just about 4 years ago now, it literally changed my life, right? Now, it's really complicated. There's a lot of layers to it, but you don't really need to go that deep to see some benefits if you apply like things like your energy type with the strategy, as well as your inner authority, and then understanding the profile lines like that. If you're new to human design, that's where I would start for sure. And if you don't know anything about any of those things, just give me a follow, because I'm going to be creating videos on this entire topic, because I'm really here to connect people with this information, because we're all one, really, ultimately, is what it boils down to. And this is a really foundational concept as far as the importance of human design, is understanding that ultimately beyond this human body and the experiences that I have as an individual, we're all connected to source beyond that, right? And we're here to have experiences and kind of untangle the collective karma of humanity. And in order to do that, we all need to be playing our specific note in the symphony of the collective, okay? So this is the analogy that I use to understand human design as the science of differentiation. And it has to do with the homogenization of society, okay? So our society has taught us to all be the same. We're meant to act like this if you're this type of person, act like this if you're this type of person. But generally, we're all taught to kind of follow a similar kind of pattern with, variations depending on region of the world and culture and things like that you're living in. But within those individual cultures, we're still homogenized to a large degree, okay? So human design is a system that helps to differentiate us within the collective so that we can play our unique note and form a more cohesive group of humans, and everybody's living in a more harmonic way of being, okay? So the analogy I like to use to understand this piece is like, I don't know if you have experience with children learning how to play the recorder. In Canada, this is a thing that we do in school here. So the recorder is a very simple instrument. It's shrill. There's not a lot of complexity to it, right? And so they're learning to play things like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, right? Or like the ABCs, these things that are like the very simple melodies. Sounds terrible, super boring, okay? Whereas a symphony, or like a more complicated piece of music, there's a lot of different things going on, okay? So there's like offbeats, there's syncopation, there's harmonies, there's melodies, there's all sorts of things going on that are not standardized or like everybody doing the same thing. And so there can be some fear in playing your unique note because you're the only one who's doing it, right? And on its own, maybe it sounds a little bit weird, but when it's played within the context of the greater symphony and you're playing that note with confidence, it creates a masterpiece. And so this is how I understand human design as the science of differentiation, and why it's so important for you to, if you're drawn to this system, to dive deep into it and start applying these different aspects and ways of being to your life so that you can be yourself in totality and play your unique note with confidence and create a more harmonic symphony for all of us to benefit from. Yes, my phone ran out of storage, so I'm sorry if that was a weird little edit at the end there.